So, left you guys on the cliffhanger, as you can see from the last video. All jokes aside, though, that was not on purpose. My apologies about that. I don't know what in God's green earth happened with my phone, but it actually ended at a perfect spot. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave them hanging. But if you read the community post that I made, you would know that there's going to be a part 2, which is right now. So, hey, Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. We are outside for a quick second as we finish the episode 5 of the New Life series, regulating your emotions, right? Emotional regulation, if you will. And I just want to touch bases on a few more points. I promise this will be a lot shorter than yesterday's video. If you did not check out yesterday's video, I would advise you to get off this one and go back to that one so that way it'll make sense, because I'm literally going to be picking back up where I left off at the other day. But what I was saying last was basically about the regulation of emotions for fellas and things that I've learned. So what I said in the previous video was one of the things that I learned was how ladies will say that they want a man that has an emotional side, but they really don't want the man to be more emotional than them. And the reason why I bring that up is because, yes, I think it's very important for you to understand your lady's emotions, or understand a woman's emotions, right? Very important in life. But women, especially feminine women, sorry about that, they want a masculine man. They want a strong man. They want a man who's grounded. A man that is overly emotional is not a grounded man. A man that is grounded is in tune with his emotions. He understands emotions. He knows how to be emotionally understanding of the people that are around him, both men and women alike, and children, of course. But he's not overtly emotional, right? Had to learn that. That was very, very important. A third thing that I had to learn about men with emotions is this Disney fairy tale that we have about love is bull jive, right? What do I mean by that? You've seen in the movies, the nice guy eventually gets the woman and they live happily ever after. Here's the truth of the matter. And I know some people are going to disagree with this, but this is very factual. The nice guy actually does not finish. And for someone who was a former nice guy, I can tell you that factual. In fact, I've gained more attention from ladies from being my authentic self and being a good guy. Now, I'm not saying that when I used to be a quote-unquote nice guy, I wasn't authentic. I've always been authentic because that was just me. I don't know how to be otherwise. But I noticed that there's a big difference, which we're going to get into that in a different video. We're not going to talk about that tonight, or today for that matter, whenever you're watching this, right? But this fairy tale illusion, we have to get rid of it. And I'm saying that because, like, you'll hear so many people, even some women will tell you this. Oh, I just want a nice guy and this and that. You can't listen to a woman's words all the time. Sometimes you can, yes. And I'm not saying don't believe what people say out their mouths, but even bigger than that, and this goes for men and women, you need to believe their actions. Because you can have a woman tell you one thing and it can be something totally different, right? And if you understand how, what the heck was that? That was weird. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. When you understand how ladies operate, you can take that into account a bit more in terms of how you can look at things. So overall, all in all, emotional regulation is extremely important. And I know I talked a lot about men for these past 2 episodes because I was talking about myself as well. But for both sides, for both men and women, emotional regulation is extremely important. It is key to be successful. Because if you know how to use which emotion for what situation, then it'll be easier for you to go about certain things in life, having an understanding of people more, and also more importantly, having an understanding of yourself. A few more things I want to add, and then we're going to wrap this video because, like I said, I told you this was not going to be a long video, is this. How do you go about handling emotional regulation? This is for both men and for women because, again, both sides need to do this. It's very important. Number one, you can handle emotional regulation by doing self-reflection and self-inspection. And a lot of times you want to do this before you even get to the point where you make an action, you make a choice. So many things can be prevented in life if you just sit back, count to 3, and ask yourself, is it worth me putting this out here? Is it worth me making that move? Is it worth me sending that text message? Because a lot of times we are reactive as human beings. We got to learn how to be more proactive than reactive. And when you are extremely emotional, you become more reactive than proactive. Reactive is responding to that person immediately that disrespected you with the same level of disrespect. Reactive is putting that post on social media when you feel some type of way. Proactive instead would be, instead of responding back to be petty or equal their pettiness, maybe respond in a manner that is logical and respond in a manner in which you can check the situation, but not necessarily be on the same level as them. Proactive is, instead of you wanting to send that subliminal message on social media, maybe pipe it down a little bit and making the decision to say, you know what? I'm not finna post that. I'm gonna write it out, I'm gonna save it for myself, and I ain't even gonna put my business out there, right? So you wanna make sure you're more proactive than reactive. Another way in which you can regulate your emotions, therapy. Matter of fact, the next episode of the New Life series, we're gonna be talking about the mental aspects of life. Want to make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so that way you know what's coming next, right? Therapy is so important when it comes to regulating emotions. There are some people that don't know how to regulate their emotions. And in some cases, it could be a mental health thing. It might be a mental health chemical imbalance, if you will, which you may need therapy or, even possibly medication to help out with that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But even if you don't fall in that category, I'm a firm believer that everybody in life needs therapy. Even therapists need therapy. Shoot, I'm a teacher, so I know I need therapy. You know what I'm saying? And then the last way in which you can regulate your emotions is to talk it out with people that you trust. A lot of times, our emotions, they get overly bottled up because why? We don't put it out there, especially as men. Fellas, I'm definitely talking to you on this one. I know I said that there's a time and a place to release your emotions, and you should be releasing your emotions all the time. And don't get me wrong, I still stand by that 100%. However, if you really need to talk to somebody, speak out. Talk to your boys. You know what I'm saying? I know some people on here will say, man, don't talk to the women, talk to your fellas. And in certain aspects, I do agree with that. But overall, talk to somebody, right? Even if it's your mama, tell somebody how you feel, right? Somebody that you trust. I know some of y'all probably thinking that totally goes against what I said last video. No. I just said there was a time and a place to put your emotions out there. Don't be overly emotional, but you can't keep your emotions bottled in all the time. Yes, there are definitely certain moments where you have to be like, all right, I need to fall back, I need to chill. But there are also times in which you need to get it out there, all right? So that's about it. I hope this helps, guys. Again, forgive me about what happened with part 1. That was beyond my control. Again, I know I left you guys on a cliffhanger, but hopefully this kind of cleared things up. So again, Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.